Yeah, Lee, chill for a minute. We'll bring you in.
Okay.
Look, Ralph, you got time to go take a nap.
Yeah. I'll run off and do something.
Right.
I got to do something. Update a commercial.
We'll put him on this right now.
Did
That's it.
the FBI have a role in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol? The Hockey Minute and the Astros win again. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. Gotta pull them in.
Yeah, oh, that was awesome.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe you were
Professionally adjusting the microphone without making a bunch of noise.
That's nice. That's very nice of you
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah.
So, let's do this.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by our great friends at Deerland Feed. It turns out that this morning it is 75 degrees, and it feels like 75 degrees, it says, with a high today of 95. So it's about like yesterday.
Yeah. pretty
Yesterday
much
was
yesterday.
72, this morning 75. Beautiful day. We look out across the, I guess we're looking kind of southwest, out the 5th floor of the Tower of Power here at Laurent Tower. We can see.
It's an ozone action day today.
So I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Take action with your ozone. We can see One O'Connor Plaza. We can see Prosperity Bank. See Detar Hospital from here. Baptist Temple.
I can see you from here.
HEB. You see HEB over there on the rent. See it? It's nice. Patty Welder. We can see Lee Cantu. Lee Cantu's in the studio. Going to visit with him. Candidate for District 3.
I feel bad for everybody who doesn't have an HEB. They're starting to infiltrate Dallas now. Did you know that?
Are they really? How will they do? I mean, you've got Randall's and Tom Thumb, and they got together.
And probably a Kroger.
Kroger's Union. Texans just don't really do that much by choice. I don't know. Nice time last night. Went down with T-Lap, and we went by and visited with a lot of great folks, including State Rep Jeannie Morrison at a event fundraiser for Jeff Balknight. Was at 205, and it was very nice, well attended. BJ and Scott Nelson were there.
Nice.
Dr. Balknight was there. Julie Balknight was there. She'll have some news coming up soon. We'll discuss with her. Miss Luann O'Connor was there. I asked her to please tell T. Michael that we said hi. You don't tell the wife of a federal marshal
Anything.
You ask her politely to please pass along to T. Michael that we said hello.
You asked permission to say hi.
Right. She expressed concern. Real estate prices are just going through the roof. I wonder what happens when you're a young couple and you get out and you're making a decent living, and the home that used to be deemed a starter home is now $250,000, but you scrape together everything you can and you find a way to buy it. You finance it at 2%. Life is good, and all of a sudden inflation comes along, and one of you loses your job. And
well, here's the other concern for Victoria. Is Victoria heading into or are we in our own housing bubble and it's going to burst?
that makes you wonder.
That $250,000 home. What happens if the market goes the other way and you're in a $250,000 home and that home really is only worth about $160,000?
Right. What do you do when you're 90 grand upside down at 30? Of course, that's better than being 90 grand.
Well, but here's the problem, and this is, as we evidenced with the last housing bubble, there's no guarantee. Houses are not. Yes, they get treated like an investment, but they're not, and they're as risky and speculative as any other investment.
Right.
The
Didn't
government,
used to be, but they are.
No, but the government had no business bailing anybody out a few years ago. You're stuck in an upside down home. You sit through it.
The rule used to be buy all the house you can and a little bit because that's your retirement. Once you pay it off, you can sell it and downsize. But now, California taught us not so much.
Yeah,
Judge
no.
Posey said tell you hi. He was there. It was a nice event.
Yeah, we'll see who's all here this morning. Jeff Finley in.
Hey,
Good
Jeff.
morning to you, Jeff. Scott Snow's in. Richard King, Lisa Poole, Diane Tippett, Justin Glass, Judge Posey's checking in. Bobby Leister, saw Bobby yesterday. Just quick, if anybody's looking for UHV Jaguar gear, because we're moving our athletic offices into a new location next week, so we're having a moving sale. 3302 North Bend Wilson, right next to the Don and Mona Smith Hall, the newest residence hall that's built. Across from the soccer field, 8 to 4 today. Stop on by, 50% off most merchandise.
There you go.
So good way to stock up on all your Jag gear, and then we don't have to move it all next week. So saw Bobby yesterday. He came by. He was doing some shopping. Leisterometer says we're still at 1,004 YouTubers.
Richard King, that's Ricky King. Doesn't Ricky need like Ricky Champagne King? He needs like a middle name, doesn't he?
Nah,
No?
he's good where he is.
I like
Jared
it.
Glass is in. See who else is in this morning.
What did Bobby Leister say the Leisterometer is?
1,004 again.
Still.
Johnny Houghton, Andy Rhea Jr., BJ Nelson.
What did it say?
He's reminding me to plug the shirt sale this morning. It's more than shirts. We got jackets, hats, all sorts of good stuff. All sorts of
Who
good
told you
promo.
that?
Bobby Leister.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Plug the shirt sale.
Plug the shirt sale. Let's see who else. Chad Hall, Karen Webb, Amanda Smith King, Chris Conrad.
Good to see Chad Hall checking in.
Chris says we're looking and sounding great again. Yeah, we got things figured out.
Ash did that. Ash.
No,
You'll notice I'm wearing
Johnny
my-
Houghton, Matt Boucher.
Wearing my UT gear, the horns traveling. Talked to one of my buddies yesterday. He'll be in Omaha on Saturday, getting ready for that week. That first game is so important. The College World Series is a double elimination tournament, so you can lose and play about 86 games
And still win it all, yeah.
and win it all, or you can win the first one,
And win like 5 games and you're champ.
sit back and you win 4 or 5 games and you're the champ. Yeah, it's very, very important. So
Christina Wise is in. Robin Moore Knipling. Let's see who else.
what did you have for an Astros score last night?
10-2 over the White Sox.
They're
Matt
just
Boucher.
on a roll, people.
They are.
The Astros are rolling.
Amanda Smith King, Karen Webb. Chad Hall. Good morning, everybody.
Yep.
Looking forward to sharing the early morning with everybody this morning. So, Astros, I think Brantley went deep early. Altuve hit a home run.
Man, that's like 4 home runs in the last 3 games.
Yeah. Just
You
jumping
think
in.
he's on steroids? Is he growing?
No, I don't think so.
Still 5'6" and just pound. Swings like his bat's almost, comes up to his letters.
And I think that's it.
10-2.
No, Toro hit one.
Just the other day, I think it was
His
you
first
asking,
Toro,
where's
they brought
Toro
Toro-
been?
Well, they brought him up because Bregman's on the IL.
Did something with his quad.
Yeah.
Made him strain something at third. He's
You know-
been pretty durable.
Yeah, he has. And you know what? That doesn't bother me long term, but that really that does concern me for this season because quads are one of those injuries that it's kind of like a hamstring. They just linger.
Yep.
And you almost need an off season to get past it. So
You got to wonder, though, if he – Dusty Baker said, it's amazing how much words matter. We're going to get to that Dusty said, well, he could be out a while. I watched the way he walked to the clubhouse, and he could be out a while. Well, maybe he was limping. Maybe he was trying to nurse it. That you feel that twinge, and you're like, hey, Dusty, we're winning 12-2. Can I come out? Or, we're on a roll.
yeah.
And nowadays, with all the ultrasonic treatment and they'll get
Light therapy.
They'll get a couple of Deshaun Watson's masseuses in there to lube him up. He'll be all right.
Speaking of on a roll, Braden Point scored in his 6th straight postseason game. I think that's the second most ever since 1981. I'm not sure why that date. NBC flashed that stat
Right.
up there, but Tampa Bay wins 2-1 over the Islanders, so the Isles still suck.
There was
And
your
Tampa Bay's up
32nd
2-1 in that series.
hockey minute. Do you
Montreal
happen to
and
have a
Vegas tonight.
PGA Tour United States Open score card?
I don't, but I got the CFL 15-second update.
Oh,
August 5th, they're kicking off.
Let's-
14-game schedule.
Let's
You want me to
up-
look for
I
that?
want you to see
Okay.
who's leading the PGA. Brooks Koepka yesterday did have a good day. I saw it was like he's got something like, pick a number, 40 rounds in the 60s. Oh, since 2017 in majors.
Mickelson had a bad day. McIlroy had a good day. Russell Henley. Who?
Russell Henley will not be there on Sunday.
4 under with Louis Oosthuizen.
He might be there on Sunday.
Yeah. Francesco Molinari, 3 under.
Decent player.
Rafa Cabrera Bello at 3
Yeah.
under. Brooks Koepka at 2 under. There's
So
your- there's your-
Koepka
there's your-
and Oosthuizen might have a
There's your
chance.
5.
What did Jordan Spieth shoot? Since I popped off yesterday about Jordan Spieth being my guy.
Shoffley was at 2 under. Matsuyama at 2 under. Rahm at 2 under. Adam Hadwin at 1 under for the Canadians in the crowd. He's just tied for 11th.
Just tell me Spieth shot.
I'm trying to get to there. I
even
gotta go
par.
through
I
the
need
list.
Even par out of
Lee Westwood at even par. Sergio Garcia at even par.
won't be there on Sunday.
Who, Sergio?
Nah, it's just old and rich.
Unless I'm missing it, I don't see a Spieth anywhere in the
Maybe he withdrew. That'd be my luck. I pick him as my lead horse.
Mickelson at 4 over. Corey Connors at 4 over. The other
Well, it's
Canadian
hard.
that we
It's
might
hard
think
for
has a
Phil to
shot.
play. Hit a shot, pick up the Wanamaker Trophy. Hit a shot, pick up the Wanamaker Trophy. I mean, Phil's tired. He's been doing tweets and videos. And,
Hit a shot, adjust the C cups and
right,
D cups.
unbelievable. Those aren't implants, folks.
Fonzie says he's tied for 99. Spieth. I scrolled past him.
There
Let
you
me
go.
see if he's there.
That used to be the joke. One of the jokes on the
I don't
Twitter.
see a 99th. They're all tied at 96, and then they go straight to 110.
The difference between Phil Mickelson and his wife Amy was that her boobs were fake, but her smile was real. They said that his boobs were real, but his smile was fake because Phil was always conniving.
Judge Posey says Spieth at +6. Play was suspended yesterday. I didn't realize that.
I mean, I'm going to have to bet that Spieth is hurt. I mean, I've played.
His
20
pride
times.
is hurt.
Yeah.
You were +6 after 1 hole, I'm
After
sure.
the front nine.
Yeah.
Played the upper tees. Not the mid. When you go to a venue that hosts a PGA Tour, and you're like, well, we'll just play it from the tips. So you play the back box, maybe the black box or whatever. If you gaze back across the parking lot and up there on a hill, like a Walmart away, is where the pros tee off.
Yeah. You know what's pretty cool being in at the TPC Deer Run for the NAI Men's National Championship last month. I was talking to some of the PGA officials that were there because they get rules officials to come out and it's legit. They have starters. Please welcome to the 8:15 tee time, and they announce the school and who's teeing
From
off.
the University of Houston, Victoria. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's
Ben
good
Link.
for
It's pretty
kids.
cool. Yeah. But I was talking to him. I said, so, how does this play out for the John Deere Classic? And he said, well, we're already starting to prep the course. They had let the rough grow. I mean, there were discernible 2 cuts of rough on the outside the fairway for,
Right.
for this tournament, which we rarely see in college golf. And I said, so, do they shut it down about a week before? He goes, no, they'll come in about 2 weeks before and play will be stopped. No members will be allowed on the course. And then we'll really start getting it ready to go. And I said, so that's all it takes, about 2 weeks? He goes, oh, no. We've already started this process. The rough is growing so we can get it cut to the height we need it to be. Because if you make a mistake now, you can't, you're not going to grow it back to where you need it, right?
Right.
So you have to let it grow and then you cut it back. And it's pretty interesting having a chat with these PGA guys to see how much goes into that and how the members, are key to that too, because they've shut it down for, 2 weeks before. And then they say, and then we try to keep play off as much as possible to keep it playable. So yeah, it's a lot of
Brings
more
all
to it than
publicity
what I
to your
thought.
Club. But the PGA Tour is like a well-oiled machine. Those scaffolds, and they really are, they're just scaffolding. But those white tents you see around the venues, they travel with the tour. When the tour shows up, it is a well-oiled machine.
But it was interesting to see the infrastructure that's in place there. You know, there's cement pads where you wouldn't expect them for trailers. There's a bunch of power outlets, or, you know, and conduit sticking up out of the ground for, you know, so they can hook up the generators and everything that they need to run everything. It was pretty cool to see all that stuff at a golf course, because you go play Victoria Country Club, you don't see that stuff.
Well, see, and that's where the idea of the TPC came from. Houston had one of the first, and the idea was that you build the facility spectator friendly. You have berms around the backs of greens where people can stand and see, and you have the infrastructure available. It is a challenge for the PGA Tour now to show up at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth and put on a golf tournament.
Yeah,
because
it wasn't built that way. No.
It wasn't built for 5,000 people walking around with toddies.
No.
You know?
But probably the most entertaining were the Cobra chickens running around at the course there.
Really?
Yeah.
Cobra chickens?
That's code for Canadian geese.
Oh,
Canada
okay.
geese, Canada goose.
There. I'll tell you this, when I used to go play, I played every year in a tournament in Indiana for a long time, and the Canada geese just don't leave. I mean, they're just there. And when you talk about something being slick as, I mean, man, they leave little piles
is grease
of gras doux everywhere, and it is with spikes on. You could eat it if you stepped on a pile of goose gras doux.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I thought
they can attack.
And we were talking about well-oiled machines, and I was just going to segue right into Allen's Wrecker Service, but now we're talking about gras doux, and
Allen's is not greased like a goose.
No part in that. 578-6300, that's Allen's Wrecker Service.
But if you hit a pile of it and slide off the road.
If you need a tow and can't go because you stepped in some gras doux, reach out to Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. There's one of Victoria's finest driving by. My son Ryland saw that Ford Police Interceptor, that Ford Crown Victoria. He goes, Dad, look, it's one of them old-timey police cars.
I see that one. It reminds me of 112.
Right, it's just a Crown Vic, but crazy. Must be the donuts must be fresh over Charlie's. 578-6300. That's Allen's Wrecker Service. VCS Companies, our banner sponsor for a reason. They do the radios that are in those police cruisers. They do the radios that are on ranches. They do the surround sound at your home. They do security, surveillance, fire suppression, fire detection. All kinds of things you don't think about.
I need to talk to JR. I haven't talked to him for a while, but I would imagine right now they're probably busy with security on ranches and stuff.
They are.
With all the issues going on at our southern border. We'll get into that this morning, too.
Right. All the undocumented future Americans. So we're calling them?
I guess so.
UFAs?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just
unrestricted free agents.
Unrestricted free agents coming in from other countries.
100. What was the last count I heard? 160 countries.
Yeah.
They've nabbed people from 160 countries. This isn't. I mean, the bulk of them coming from Central America, but it isn't just a Central America / Mexico.
Well,
issue.
so
They're coming from all over the world.
Right in the middle of our sponsor
and they're
break.
Flying over.
Oh, but right in the middle of our sponsor break, just interrupt ourselves to point out that in May of 20, the U.S. captured, if you will, detained, restricted the immigration of 17,000 individuals. And in May of 21, that number was 170,000.
Wow.
So they're not, I mean, if they were catching 1 out of 10, then they're still catching 1 out of 10. That's 1 million folks coming in. That's a scary number.
But the biggest threat to this country.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. So after VCS, reach out to Cheswick Furniture, 101 years in downtown Victoria. Excuse me.
116 West One Lane.
Had a little
Joel
Nava regurgitation there from last evening. Wonderful event downtown, folks. The summer street dance season is underway. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Get down to you get that reference?
Yes. Okay.
Just want to make sure you usually are pretty. Yeah, I guess I just wasn't funny. Imagine that. Chesney
Live,
Furniture.
live radio, not everything works.
Everything doesn't work. 101 years in downtown Victoria. They do work. Bobby Leon and his family can take care of you and yours. You just do better at Chestnut. Chestnut and Love make your house a home. Get down there and see Bobby Leon. Tell them Wade Carter sent you for 50% off, and they'll deliver it today. And, of course, today's your last day of the week to get to Veracruz.
Yep.
You got to get – went yesterday with Chief Arredondo, and he had the beef fajita taco salad, no chips. Phenomenal.
Like it?
Yeah, Dawn ordered, and the way that T-Lat ordered, he just said, yeah, me too. I want that too.
She ordered for you too?
No, I had the Compuestas, the Wade and Carter Compuestas. Fantastic.
I had those the last time I was there. They were good.
So I'm excited to have the opportunity to introduce to you folks. Many of you know just because he's been around here forever, but candidate for District 3. You'll recall that we're having a special election because Jeff Balknight has decided to put his hat in the ring to run for this seat vacated.
Well, we were already having a special election for mayor, so this
With the loss of Ron
Ron
McCoy. So because Jeff put his name in the hat, we now have an open seat. And Mr. Cantu, I always like the accessibility of these folks and their ability to, you've got somebody coming in to volunteer for a position that pays nothing to help out the city. And he's got a bunch of ideas, and we just wanted to. He was here on the Bill Posey show. Got to give credit to Bill and Lee for having him on.
What do you mean it pays nothing?
Well,
Don't all elected officials end up rich when they're done?
Yeah, every time you're going to talk right into that one. Every time that we see Michael Cloud, we ask him if he's a millionaire yet. And the last couple of times, he just kind of glared at me like, "Don't." I'm not going to lie, so don't put me on the spot. But good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I've had the opportunity several times over the last couple of months to visit with you. I found you to be extremely enjoyable personally. And like I've tried to play Stump Lee, well, what would you do with this? And you've always got a well thought out answer. I just take a second, tell our listeners, and there are a bunch. Tell them what you want to do, how you got involved, and
why you want to
do this.
Well, like I've said every time, this has been kind of a passion for me for a long time. I've always volunteered, growing up, following my dad's footsteps. I started at 10 and 12 years old, volunteering for the Victoria Livestock Show. And as I progressed and got older, I was like, you know what, I want to do my own thing. So I decided to become a fireman and / medic. And I volunteered for Bloomington almost 10 plus years. But not only that, but where I worked at the industrial plants, I was part of the emergency brigade too as a medic. And that was part of my life. I was a safety / medic, at the plants. So I've done that pretty much all my life. And I think one of the humbling moments was 98. I think everybody remembers the flood. And I've always wanted to, do my diligence and get back to the city. And I was on a water rescue team in 98. And it was very humbling, emotional, and sad to see the city so vulnerable. And I told myself, if I ever get a chance, an opportunity to move to Victoria, I'm going to do something one day. I'm going to volunteer, donate my time, however I need to do it to be part of the team. And so I moved here 19 years ago and met my wife, Amy, beautiful wife, and we've got 6 kids together. I will say this, 3 kids are from a previous marriage, but she tells me not to say that. She said she accepts all of them. They're all perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been blessed with Amy.
Well, you have a beautiful family. We've seen, those are the highlights for me running for mayor, was putting out the little signs, and to see your entire family in a big picture on the side of the road is kind of cute. So, yeah, you have a beautiful family. I've seen your pictures out on the highways. So
no, I appreciate that. I just keeping it real. I'm a family man, and I got a full-time job, and the city council doesn't pay. It's a civic duty, just giving back to the community.
So what are the priorities you see for District 3, and how can you address those on council and fix what needs fixing for the district?
Well, I think one of the biggest priorities for the residents that I've been out and about talking with is streets. How do we manage our streets? What is our maintenance program? And the city has a program in place, but I want to be part of moving forward and see if we can tweak some things, maybe find some opportunities because I come from the industrial background and I used to work for the city. So I spent 5 years with the city, working with all the departments. So logistically, I know how the street department works, the water department, and knowing those insights on those departments will give me an advantage to be able to be a councilman and being out there and talking to the folks and trying to get something done.
Are we doing enough as a city to fix the streets? You know, I know in listening to others, it's a large chunk of the budget, but is it enough? Are we making enough progress to get where we need to as a city?
There's always opportunity for improvement. I think our city budget for streets on an annual basis is about $9 million. I think I talked to an ex-councilman a couple weeks ago, and he put it the best way. He said, if TxDOT did not own Navarro and Business 59, this city would be broke because we couldn't afford to maintain those two highways. That's how much money. So we're fortunate that TxDOT does own those highways. Unfortunately, they put the median in, which is a big concern with everybody, but it is what it is.
We did see recently where the city picked up another one of those pothole
Trucks.
Basically is what it is. Go out, you can repair an individual pothole very quickly with a truck. I think it was Emmett Alvarez. I heard the other day. We think that they fill those potholes with oatmeal because every time it rains, there are potholes again. And Emmett was saying, and it was fun because Emmett's just very practical. And Emmett's like, can we just get something in that hole that'll last more than 2 months? And there's a legit point because there's our streets are bumpy. They're not so much potholey, our main streets. But it is when you find one, now they're deep. Like you go down in it.
Well, we get no break from the rain. I mean, even, we've had like at my place out in Nursery, over 30 inches of rain since this rain started falling, 5 weeks ago? I mean, we've had a ton. And then every day you get a pop-up shower, and just when you think it's drying out, they pull me back in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things that you got to really take in consideration is the ground that we sit on used to be all farmland, so this is all black gumbo.
And a lot of it rice fields too.
Yes, a lot of it rice fields. So what happens with the shift, like you said, the roads are not with holes, but they're bumpy.
Right.
They're wavy.
It's that gumbo
It's
that we live on.
And of course,
here in the land,
that's a temporary fix.
Yeah, no, it is.
Understand that.
Here in the land of the Comanche, my people roamed free once.
Whoa.
Oh, look at the pigeons.
I thought they were coming through
Did
the
you see
window.
that? They were coming at us.
So, what other roads is number one? What else is bubbling up in District 3?
Actually, I've been talking to the residents. It's streets. I'm talking to a resident yesterday, and I think this is something that Roy Boyd was pushing for. Is a mental health facility here in Victoria, and we lost that at the Citizens Hospital. So that's one thing that I'm going to be advocate for and pursue that because Roy Boyd's a good guy, and he was pursuing that, and we really need that back in Victoria.
And I remember when I moderated the debate, that was something that came up. There was some of the mental health, the homelessness issue.
All
District 3 tends to be the center of a large number of our homeless population and our panhandling. Has that been, it came up at the debate that Caleb Shaw had hosted. Is that something you're hearing from?
Honestly, I haven't heard that from our resident that I've been talking to.
Well, and I think when I think of our area, of course, your district does encompass like Victoria Mall and like where Lowe's and all that is. The next thing you know, that's where people are calling the homeless area. I appreciate you bringing up the mental health need because so many things key off that. The idea of a homeless veteran can go back to a mental health issue. The idea of panhandling and the quote unquote homeless can go back to a mental health issue. And what I think Chief Boyd was a big proponent of was identifying these people and getting them help without dragging them into
the law enforcement and the judicial side of
without
things.
having to arrest them and put them in jail. He's told me, and Roy's as conservative a guy as you'll ever meet as far as, hey, that guy broke the law, lock him up.
Yeah.
And Roy would say, I got people down there that shouldn't be in jail. He stopped short of saying it's not their fault. He's a very accountable guy. Maybe it's choices that they made, but he has said we need help on the mental health side in this area. And we're being, 100,000 people in the county. There's no way that all of us are stable all the time. There's just a need for a mental health capacity here in town.
So streets, mental health. What about Victoria? Looking beyond District 3, how can you as a city councilman, if elected on July 3rd and early voting has started, so make sure you get out and vote at the Patty Dodson Center. But if you're elected to represent District 3, how do you help Victoria move forward as well?
Well, I'd really like to be a voice for not only the District 3 employees, residents. Sorry, that's my habit at work.
Hey, we're all employees, trust me. I like it.
But I think Victoria has many opportunities for growth, and me being an industrial plant, several years ago, we had an opportunity with Exxon. There's opportunities for the industrial growth to come to Victoria and create many jobs. And if you create the jobs, you'll have more homes that will be building, people coming in. So there's plenty of opportunities. It's just, we got to sit down with not only the council, but the city, the county, and everybody and see what we can come up with. Because there are opportunities to grow.
Fantastic.
I think one of the biggest things that the milestones that we've hit is having that Texas on the south side of town. Now we have utilities down there. I know some of the areas are landlocked, but that opens the doors.
The Texan store down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, take 30 seconds and tell people what you want to know. Say, here's why you should vote for me, and then you can feel free to come back between now and the election.
Absolutely. So basically, 3 principles that I'm running on is experience, committed, and honesty. Like I've told at the debate, if I can't be honest with you, I don't need to be your city council, and I plan to be honest with every resident in Victoria, not only District 3. And if you want to learn more about me, go to my Facebook page or go to my webpage, lead4district3.com. And if you get a chance, you can donate there too. This morning, if you get an opportunity, I'm going to be at the Box Coffee Bar at 2916 North Lorraine. If you'd like a coffee on me, come by and talk to me.
That's at the corner of Lorraine and Airline, right there across from the old Victoria Mall, or Town Plaza Mall.
The UHV Northwest Campus, where
right
UHV
there.
Athletics will be relocating
Absolutely.
to next week.
We'll get to that in a minute. But right there in the old strip center is where it's a nice little coffee place.
They brew a good cup of coffee there, by the way.
It's just a good cup of Joe right there.
They kind of do it the old school way. They actually they make it like espresso, and then they add the water to get you the coffee. They don't just throw a bunch of beans in a thing and brew a pot. It's cup by cup.
Very Canadian.
It's very good.
Lee, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming by, and feel free to come back.
James Kerr says he likes that. Lee for District 3.
Lee for 3. Lee for me. There you go.
3, but number 4 on the ballot.
There you go. Right. Number 4 on the ballot. Number 1 on ours. Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Thank you all.
Ashley's going to get that. Let me start you another break. Bye, Lee. Adsenhofer, quite simply Victoria's dealership. We joke about it every day, but it's just the reality. They probably don't even need us. We're just glad that they help support this forum, and very, very glad. We've had, and Ash, help me recount. We've had Dwayne Crocker on. We've had Chad Hall on.
Well, yeah.
And we've had Lee on. We had Aaron Franco on. We haven't had Mr. Geisman on yet.
Not yet. We're working on him. I think he was out of town until yesterday, so we'll get him on next week. And then we've got Emmett Alvarez and David Crook, and then
fantastic. We've done everybody.
5 of 8 so
and
far.
And everybody's invited. And to his credit, Mr. Alvarez has reached out and said, "Hey, I'm not trying not just to show up. When do you want us?" And I'm like, "Well, we run a pretty tight agenda."
Yeah, it's always. I mean, it's so well scripted.
We have no idea, so just show up. He'll be here next week for sure. Adsenhofer, folks, adsenhofer.com. You can shop for Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, Chevrolet. They've got a paint and body shop that's as good as any place on the planet. They'll service all makes and models, and they'll change the oil, and they'll inspect it. Go by Adsenhofer today. White Trash Services.
550-1826.
Saw Scott and BJ last night. Their lives are kind of getting back to normal, and they are blowing and going and growing. And Josh Hanchett and Bree were there.
Nice.
And Josh, I got the chance to introduce Scott to Josh, and Josh said, "Well, it's nice to meet you. I just became a White Trash Services customer."
No doubt from listening to the show.
I threw in there just another success story with Wade and Carter, even though we had nothing to do with
Had
it.
everything to do with it.
Razor IT Solutions. I saw JP last night, and he said, "Man, I have been so busy."
You did see
He's
him last night.
He's doing great. Yes. And if you need, and you do need, if you say to yourself, I don't know what they're talking about, you need to call Razor IT Solutions to protect your data, encrypt your data, protect the credit card information that you bring in through your business, through your website. If you collect money, people will hack your website and extort from you funds that you don't want to pay. But every day in this country, people pay ransomware. Every day. Reach out to Razor IT Solutions, and for a fraction of that, protect your business. I also saw Steve Kidder, the law offices of Steve Kidder.
You saw the law offices of Steve
They
Kidder
were
or just Steve
mobile.
Kidder?
They were sitting at the bar eating at 2:05 last night. As T-Lad and I were leaving the function, she had seen Steven, and earlier he had said, well, hey, we're right next door, say hi later. It's daylight. It's daylight. And as we're leaving, T-Lad says, you think Steve's still sitting at that bar? And I go, seriously? I go, it's daylight. Of course he's still there. He's gone home yet.
Not yet. He was enjoying a great steak.
He was.
205.
205 was fantastic. So the law
You don't wolf that down. You
No.
savor every mouthful.
He just a super young guy and a really aggressive attorney.
Sent me a text message last night. I think you were in on it. He was really, really torn over whether or not to play Anne Murray on the jukebox last night.
Yes, I mean you can't go wrong. Spread
He
your
did.
tiny
He
wings
did. He
and
did not
fly
play.
away.
Could I have this dance? But
That's another great one.
he was gonna.
Was that in?
That was every wedding song in the early 80s when you were 11, 12 years old and going to all my cousins' weddings. That song was every
Was
first
that
dance.
song in Urban Cowboy?
I don't think. No, I don't think so.
And then Complete 360 right behind us
No.
now. The sign is up, says Health Bar, right here on Red River. You can't miss that.
No.
And then there's Carrie Bump, the bump, bump, bump.
Jim Hartman's in. Good morning to you, sir.
Then get up. Was that Mr. Hartman?
Yep.
Good morning, sir. Get up on. There's OB. What did he say from Sacramento? If he types something, it's usually
Said it's election season. If you need a professional mailer from Northern California to handle it,
yeah, he is a pro. He does a lot of the mailing for the casinos and.
oh,
things
Jim
like that.
Simpson says yes. That song was in Urban Cowboy. I don't remember it there.
I thought it was in there. Thank you, Jimmy.
It's a nice memory.
There you go. So, I've only seen that movie
gazillion times?
like 38 times. See. Anyway. Oh, goodness, folks. Go to the Health Bar. Get up north to Complete and the nutrition. They've got all the supplements and, the healthy popcorns and the snacks. paninis,
They have these little cheese balls that are like
smoothies.
protein and they
Cheese
taste
balls.
pretty good too.
Cheese balls.
Yeah. Cheese balls.
Cheese balls.
Oh, speaking of cheese balls, where is this going with Merrick Garland, our Attorney General? The old white guy is afraid of other old white guys.
I can't. But I'm just going to read it to you. It blows my mind. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland on Tuesday announced the Department of Justice national strategy for countering domestic terrorism. Garland said the biggest threat
Hang on, caller.
comes from white supremacists and spoke about the investigations related to the January 6th. Now they call it the January
Where'd that
6th.
come from? We got to give
riot
credit since
from,
you're reading
Epic
that, right?
News.
Okay, Epic Times.
Yeah, the January 6th riot. So, in the FBI's view, the top domestic violent extremist threat comes from racially or ethically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocate for the superiority of the white race.
What's he trying to say ethically? Because there's no ethics involved if you
Yeah.
think your race is superior to
You're
somebody
just
else's.
an idiot. My deal is, if you had to objectively, I'm not talking about, well, hey man, they've been done wrong, they deserve to be upset. I'm not talking about merit. Has BLM or those crazy white extremists been more active, disruptive, tearing things up, rioting, looting, beating people up. Antifa are those crazy white people.
ISIS
Are the
or crazy white
crazy white people. The mainstream media is painting a vision. And by the way, if you take away the fact that a security guard shot a lady,
maybe Capitol Police.
okay, somebody,
And they haven't doxed him yet. The left is protecting him. The media is protecting this
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
And I don't call for this anyway, but it's interesting because
yes,
if it wasn't a white woman that got shot and
oh,
killed,
had it been a black woman, oh my goodness,
that police officer would have been exposed and identified by the media and everybody else by now.
oh, no doubt about it. And his family exposed, and his daughter went to Columbia. It would be all that stuff.
Yeah.
But instead, I mean, I've seen video of people just kind of wandering aimlessly through the Capitol.
Well,
Nobody stole the paintings. Nobody cut
a few things. Tried to walk away with the dais.
Oh, did you see that guy?
Yeah,
That guy was no extremist. He was just a moron.
Yeah, he got
And he
charged.
was
Might
white.
have been drunk.
He was white.
But now there's reports the FBI may have infiltrated the 3 militias.
Yeah. Let's get to that.
They say, but yeah, let's hit the caller. Good morning, Nate. Wade and Carter Show.
We didn't mean to put you on hold for so long. How are you?
We had you at Could I Have This Dance?
Well, no. Since we've got you there, so here's the latest. And I'll give you the Cliffs Notes and ask you the details. The FBI is now reporting or admitting that they had.
Well, they're not admitting. They're being accused of, I think. Media is reporting.
Undercover FBI guys had infiltrated 3,
Proud Boys, and I don't know the other 2.
Identified
my militia.
white extremist groups. And now people are wondering to what degree FBI agents may have been involved in the insurrection on, for
and
example,
possibly
January
even the
6th.
planning of infiltrating the Capitol, and therefore having some insider knowledge or insider ability to breach the security and get into the Capitol. This thing is getting interesting, folks, and I don't know that we're ever going to get the answers.
So the idea would be that, but when you're an undercover officer, maybe you do have to smoke the joint with the motorcycle gang to get in. Being very stereotypical, we know that motorcycle gangs don't necessarily smoke weed. I'm just saying.
No, they just sell it.
Right. That you now.
And now they're into meth.
But let's say
weed doesn't make enough money.
Your superiors understand that you have to do these things and go along to get along in order to get into the group. But you've got to wonder, yes, sir, but you've got to wonder at what point is your purpose for being in the group identified?
Well, now is the government leading these things?
Right.
If we get to that point,
has the FBI facilitated a breach of the security at the Capitol? And
did the government lead the insurrection?
Yeah. And was it all designed to rain down on Trump? I don't know. How are you? Did you have something specific you wanted to talk about, or did you just want to be part of the program? But we recognize your voice and
couldn't place the name. Thank you for identifying yourself.
Yeah, we recognize your voice and nobody else cares. So go ahead. Right. You rant sober, and we like that. Very nice. And and oh, good. You're gonna speak.
Nice.
Very nice. No, that's flattering. That's very nice. I mean, or will there be loud noises? Sounds pretty exciting.
Board, cinder, and fire. I mean, what more do you need? It sounds like an insurrection at
It's
the
like
Capitol.
He's going to catch his fist on fire and punch a board. Hey, but by the way, you do remind us to tell everybody and ask.
Thanks,
you
James.
and-
Appreciate the call. And Sportsman's Church Sunday evening.
Yeah, get over there. What time, James?
What time does that all start?
5.
That
You won't preach much past 9.
no,
Probably.
not at all.
There you go.
That tug of war would be fun to watch. Thanks, James. Appreciate the call.
We love you, buddy.
Tug of wars over water are always fun.
Gives us a chance to say to you and I guess back
And
to
to you.
me, hey, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Still blessed to have my own dad. That'll be he'll be 85 in December if he lingers around that long. I'll ask him, Dad, what are you doing? Just waiting on the call, son. It's time to go. Ready to
Yeah, I
go.
think Wally's going to be 82 this year.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wally still drives.
Still builds things. He's active.
Makes me nervous. Just saying.
Not me.
He's got it. Wally's
He's a
still
spry
got it.
young chicken. He's probably in better shape than most guys half his age
There you go.
because he's active and he does things.
Clean living.
Yep.
Speaking of clean living, I saw a sign coming in this morning. It was a Terry Murray Motto Mortgage billboard. Said Terry Murray is your home loan personal shopper. That's a great way to look at that.
That is a good way to look at
Kind of
it.
simples it out and sums it up. Reach out to Terry Murray, 541-5454, and let Terry help you navigate the waters of the mortgage world. She can help you refinance your home, pull money out, lower your interest rate, lower your payment, get all the way to a reverse mortgage, or she can help you get
Buying a
money
new
out
home,
to
she can help you with that too.
Absolutely. Went services for plumbing.
Is the jail bus
No,
coming
it
for
looks
us?
like the jail bus, but it's the YMCA
Okay.
bus. Very similar. It looks like an episode from Speed. Doesn't it?
Probably a former prison bus at one point.
Is that Sandra Bullock driving that bus?
Or Keanu Reeves, I'm
Right.
not sure.
Went services for generators, solar panels, plumbing, general electrical work, new remodel, emergency. Call Went. Call Went Services today. USA Concrete Coatings.
Check out if you want to see what USA Concrete Coatings does, because we try to describe it. Go to their Facebook page and just look at the before and afters.
It's amazing.
I mean that can sell it better than anything we can
It's
ever
a
say.
value raiser at your home. If you've got a pool deck and you've found the spot where it always holds water and it's got that little mildew that's that permanent stain where it's black down inside there. Even when you power wash it, then it's still kind of an off green. USA Concrete Coatings can make that go away and really, really rejuvenate your pool.
Any drab slab,
Absolutely.
they'll transform it.
Reach out today. 578-HOME. And then for your next big party, sales event, whatever you want to do,
Any gathering,
920-6803.
except for an insurrection at the Capitol.
Right. She won't
do
decorate that.
No.
920-6803. That's Cheryl at the Gray Barn, and she's awesome. I've had more than one person, Bob Constantine being the most recent, who just said, gosh, it's so much fun to work with her. She gets me excited about my own event. Instead of dreading your event and having to figure out, oh, I hope the decorations are good. I don't know. These flowers look nice. Just give that to Cheryl. Give her the idea of what you want to do. Give her a budget and get out of the way. It's pretty simple. 920-6803.
So Supreme Court yesterday ruled that the states had no merit trying to sue to overturn Obamacare. Said that I think the federal court wasn't the place to bring it up, and 7-2 decision. So
So Obamacare's here to
it's here to
stay.
stay. Yeah.
That's
You know,
fine. It's and everybody hates it. The website sucks, and it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Did you see where our governor, in no uncertain terms, this is like old school politics, states' rights, and all that. So when the feds came in and were going to build under Donald Trump, when the feds came in and claimed,
Doesn't this
land,
battle go back further though for the land? I remember this land grab, eminent domaining of land along the Rio Grande
right?
a long time ago.
Now you choose to use your Spanish, okay? And I would have just said on the Rio Grande, but I'm with you. I'm with you. The Rio Grande.
There's Heather Monroe checking.
Speaking of Rio and Spanish, hats off and good luck to Team Wade and Carter First time this has happened, Commissioner Clint Ives and his son Cole are going to fish in the Rojo, the Redfish tournament. It's a big time tournament. It's like $600 to get in. You can win like $20,000.
Nice.
But they're fishing this hardcore redfish tournament, and they're doing it under the name of and sporting the gear of Wade and Carter. So we're
Gear
kinda
up.
like-
They've got two hats.
well, yeah, but it's a lot like it's if you squint, it's kind of like me and Ash like having a car in NASCAR. It's kind of like
Kind of like that.
like the Wade and Carter, the number 24 Wade and Carter Chevy Monte Carlo. It's kind of like that.
Kind of like that.
But it's a fishing tournament. We're starting off small. We're working our way up.
Be like us with a bumper sticker on a car at Texana Raceway.
Then we're going to a sprint car. Then we'll do maybe dune buggies. Baja would be more like us, off-road racing. Because we can't stay on the path here.
We'd be more the Paris to Dakar
Right.
rally, and with our luck, our car would kill some spectators.
But we digressed. Greg Abbott tells Joe Biden, I demand the immediate return to the state of Texas lands that you took, federal government, not Joe Biden, that you took in order to build the wall. If you're not building the wall, we want our land back. And I was kind of proud of the governor for that. He's really flexing his muscles a little bit, you know.
$250 million he's pledged to this, plus crowdsourcing for the rest of it.
Crowdsourcing means us.
Yes. I mean, well, the 250 is already us.
Yeah.
Now he's
that's
asking
tax.
us, you know.
That's 250 without your permission.
Yeah.
Then he
Now
wants
they're
the rest,
asking
he wants your
permission. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what else was there? There was something.
Whatever you were going to tell
I
me,
don't
it was
remember.
going to be
Well, it was
great.
Supreme Court issue as well, because this one, there was a lot of flap from the left on this one, because a Catholic charity that's involved in adoption of kids didn't want to adopt kids out to same-sex couples. They said it went against our Catholic values.
I love this. That is fantastic.
And the city of Philadelphia blocked them, said you can't do it, and they forced them to do it. So they sued, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the leftists. Here's where the politics of the Supreme Court, or they tried to play the politics of the Supreme Court leading into this, right? Well, you conservatives, blah, blah, blah. The unanimous decision, 9-0.
Yeah.
There wasn't a dissenting voice on the dais yesterday.
Right. That as a matter of law, the Catholic charity basically could refuse the right to provide service to anybody. You think about this, and I'm never anti-Catholic. Don't get me wrong. I'm objective, and sometimes I know that some things I say may sound judgmental of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, there's some good reason with that.
But here's a group, the church being the body of people and the church being the Vatican and the organization, a group of people with biblical values who provide the funds that single or unwed or whatever reason that a mother has to give up a baby feels comfortable giving her baby,
Not a mother anymore. It's a birthing person.
a birthing person, a biological instrument of creation, gives the baby to the Catholic Church. It is right that the Catholic Church should be able to say, we're going to have a say in what type of home this baby goes to. Now, that's not saying that same-sex couples can adopt a kid. Rosie O'Donnell's done it. Other people have done it. The reality is they just can't adopt it there. And that doesn't make the Catholic Church judgmental or wrong or anything else. The idea, think about the kind of person that wanted a baby with all the places that you can go to adopt a baby and chose to draw a line in the sand to fight a battle against the Catholic Church over where the Catholic Church wants to put a kid. That person, I doubt very seriously, this is probably someone outraged on behalf of
Somebody.
else. It's not a mother who said, me and my life partner, Sheila, wanted to adopt a baby and the church told us no. So we're going to sue them and go all the way to the Supreme Court. Hats off to the Supreme Court, 9-0, they get it right. Good job. I'll go ahead and agree.
James
with
Kerr
people that-
says what he read was there was no victim in the case. They had not refused any same-sex couple because none had come forward. Yeah, like I said, I think the city of Philadelphia was the one that was trying to pressure them into doing so. And the Supreme Court said separation of church and state.
Right. So, well, Heather Munro, Munro, Canadian listener.
Says we
Yes,
were cutting in and out. Did the church win?
the church won. Is that better?
Yes. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the church and said that based on your religious freedom, you could.
I look like every other frumpy 50-something-year-old Longhorn fan. I'm just looking at myself in that video. That is, folks, I apologize.
Well, you're wearing a tent.
Well, it is. This is the Omar brand, Omar the tent maker.
It's rather large.
It is. What did that say? That's
That's what I'm trying to get to.
public service announcement.
Yeah.
Bring dad. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it keeps. Yeah, bring dad to Highway 87 Trade Days Market Saturday. Shop for his own gift, play some putt-putt, enjoy some barbecue and lunch. 9 to 3 Sun Valley Ranch.
So that's 93 at Sun Valley. That's on Saturday.
That's I think Saturday. Yes, sir.
There you go.
General's back in action tonight. Baton Rouge Rougarou
Go
in town for
Rougarou.
2. Look at that. You got fans. Someone says you look great. Heather
Thank
Monroe
you.
says you look
Heather,
great.
thank you.
She's just being a polite Canadian.
Sorry for the way I look.
Speaking of being polite Canadians, we better get out of here.
Yeah, it is. It's top of the hour. We man, thank you folks so much for being with us all week. So many of you.
I just made you a Canadian. Did you not
Hey,
catch that?
sorry. Last night I had the privilege of seeing and speaking to Judge Posey, and you know he recognized Dawn, and it's just very nice to put a face. Repeat, of course we know the judge, but to put a face with the name. And feel free anytime, please just walk up and say, hey, I'm Joe Smith, and it's great to me. Now I've got listeners now that'll come up and go, hey, I'm Joe Smith. I'm like, no, you're not. You're BJ Nelson. But at any rate, feel free to come up and just say hi and know that we really, really appreciate your support and your listening.
Chris Conrad's keeping it real. He says, thank God you didn't go to TCU or you'd look like Grimace.
What is the I love you,
Or Barney.
Barney, I could be Barney if I was wearing purple.
I had a chill up the spine moment last night watching the start of the Islanders Tampa Bay game because and the Islanders did this the last game of Boston Islanders fans and you see this a lot of times in other hockey arenas, and Canadians do this almost every time there's a game. But the fans at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Long Island, New York,
Long Island.
yeah, they overtook the anthem singer once again in singing our national anthem, and I'm getting chills just talking about it, but just a great moment. And I think it's somewhat telling of hockey fans because you don't see this in Major League Baseball stadiums. You don't see this at the NFL. You don't see it at the NBA. You don't see it even at NASCAR. But,
Really
16,000 strong inside Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, and they were just loud and proud with the Star Spangled Banner prior to
Awesome.
the game, and you can see the players and the teams just looking around, going, "Wow,
It's a
this
moment.
is something!" And it just doesn't happen in any other sport. And 16,000 louder than any, AT&T Stadium filled with 100,000 people who are just kind of muddling it under their breath.
That's awesome.
So.
Somebody said that's why I love
Yeah.
hockey.
Even Sean Hannity was talking about it the other day, and it's just
He's a
You know,
Yankee.
and
He's
I-
from up there in
yeah,
Jersey.
he is, and I think he's an Islanders fan too. But pretty amazing,
Who was that? James Welch.
James Kurth, I think.
Oh,
That's
James
why I
Kerr.
love
Oh,
hockey.
there's
Yeah.
James Kerr.
So it was awesome to see yesterday and to listen to, and you know what was interesting is they panned the crowd. Everybody was singing it,
That's awesome.
of every race, brown people, yellow people, black people, didn't matter. So if you wanted a picture that goes against the left narrative of divisive and
Right.
racism in this country and how America's bad, that was it. Everybody in the crowd was singing, didn't matter who they were.
Well, I think that we all have so much more in common than we ever
Absolutely.
have to divide us, and we allow the media to go. It's just like we allowed the media to go, oh, Pepe Le Pew, that's racist, or was it sexist? Whichever.
Both.
Or is it anti-French? I don't know. But we allowed the media to give us that. We allowed the media to tell us Dr. Seuss could be sending your children really racist messages, or was it pedophilic? I don't remember, but I remember it was a big deal for about a week.
Yeah.
Don't let the media drive your life.
No. Take
So-
a look at things like what happened last night at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum,
Awesome.
because that is the true America, not the BS that the media and the left continue to push.
Amen. Happy Father's Day to all
Happy
the
Father's Day
dads.
to all the good ones out there, bad
Have a
ones.
great weekend.
Pick up your game.
See you Monday.
Bye, folks.
And KHNC 95 assumes no responsibility for its content, and the Wade and Carter Show bears all responsibility for their opinions
Clear.
and guests on their show.
Not yet. Not yet here.
Appreciate your attendance. Please drive safely. Huddle music. This is Magic 95.9 FM.
Now we're